end of an era at Trent with the departure of our president, Bonnie Patterson, who's brought about major changes
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
And, you know, don't have to go at great length, but I think some of the things should probably be identified and just looked at.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think start with the strengths, the good things that she's done.
That's fair. All right, but we'll move on to some of the other stuff.
Well, wait, no, there's one thing. When I first came, we still had small group teaching. And then with the rise of enrollments and stuff, I thought we'd never see that day again. But in the last few years, under Body's enlightened leadership, Trent has fallen so low now in the Maclean's ratings that almost no one applies to come here anymore. And lo and behold, I have my small groups back.
Well, I'm not sure that that's the reason. We do have, I guess, luckily in that perspective, no big increases in student enrollment or applications, at least according to today's Globe and Mail.
And no prospect.
No prospect either. Well, that's probably an inference we could defend. But so that's, I guess, good. But you know, I just came in trying to look for a parking place, and there's nothing there. And I parked illegally. But this is a result of the enrollment doubling.
That's right.
At least doubling during the tenure of Bonnie Patterson. And this was clearly the result of a strategy that she, with the support clearly of some players here at Trent, chose at a time of what was then called a financial crisis.
Yeah.
Of course, no idea what really a financial crisis is then. But so the strategic decision was made to increase the size of Trent and basically leave behind the old model of a small liberal arts university, make it a medium-sized university, and also move away from the liberal arts concentration and add on applied programs, nursing, forensic, science,
Ed.
sort of applied teacher's education, and so that was, I suppose, was that an achievement to increase the size? It's difficult.
Rhetorical question. Assume I don't want to have to provide an answer.
No, well, yeah.
She did knock down buildings. Give her that.
Yeah.
That's always a
It's
sign
up
of
at the
progress.
campus.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think what other kinds of.
Well, do you think she can really be blamed for the fact that I always find so depressing, namely that we have a trend, or at least we had since they last supplied, the administration last supplied numbers to Maclean's in their survey of universities. We had the lowest average grade that students entered Trent with, that they were accepted with, of all universities in Canada. And that's a pretty significant piece of statistics, I think.
Well, it goes along with we had one of the highest contributions in terms of value added.
Now, what is value added?
Well, I think that's the difference between what somebody knows when they finish and what they knew when they started. And so the less they know when they start, the greater your possibility for raising that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, so the fact that we have such bad students when they come in gives us a chance
to really make a difference.
Yeah.
I think Bonnie Patterson may have even invented that very useful indicator of value added. I think it's a Marxist, originally Marxist concept. Of course, she's not a Marxist, is she?
It's hard to know.
What are her credentials? What did she?
She has an MBA, Master's in Business Administration from Ryerson.
Uh-huh.
So So that's her. She doesn't have a PhD, and so that's what gave her leg up into our administration. But I mean, the reality is, she is a symbol. She's a sign of a larger process. I mean, she was hired by a board of governors that was largely Harrisites. They wanted to implement Mike Harris's vision for the university. Remember, he came in saying that he thought tenure was a bad thing, and he thought we shouldn't be teaching useless subjects that don't lead to jobs like geography and sociology. I mean, he named them in a speech at Western. So, I mean, that was the board, was his people, and they hired Bonnie to implement that vision. So that's why we have programs that lead to jobs now, like forensics.
Yeah.
Or at least they're supposed to.
No, it's true. This was certainly part of a larger movement. This kind. I always thought it was the university administration seemed to be last in catching on this, jumping on the bandwagon of neoliberal reform, which the normal corporations, the for-profit private sector, had undertaken.
Yeah.
But I guess depending on what you self-image as a university president, if you look at it as a business, of course you would accept the same kind of logic and your own. What would be the measure of your own success? Well, some sort of expansion, I suppose, and a balanced budget, and expansion in student numbers, so in that sense.
Well, I made the point when I was teaching 100 a few years back. It was the year where I was teaching the course, I think 300 students, and no TAs and no groups, and we were doing it all with WebCT and my lectures. So basically, it was just me. And I gave an interview to the Arthur where I said that in politics, we were now the most efficient processors of student units in the university. To try and show our enthusiasm for the neoliberal agenda. And then I was chastised by the dean's office for using that kind of language. So on the one hand, they want to follow that neoliberal rationalization program, but on the other, they still want to sell it as, a small, outstanding university where the world belongs to those who understand it, and we can make a world of difference if we only believe.